So in this video, I'm just going to go through every question in the 7.2 quizzes in case you missed something when we went through it in class. So first question, this is slope-intercept form. So m is the slope, and it's an arbitrary letter just because we don't want to use s, because s looks like a 5. And b is another arbitrary letter for the y-intercept. So that would be this option. And the reason for that is because if you've got a line, and let's say the line looks, that's the x and y axis, say the line looks like this, then the y, where it crosses the y axis, is going to have a x coordinate of 0 and a y coordinate of y. So if I plug in 0 for x into this equation, I would get y equals m times 0 plus b. And so that's just going to cancel out, and I get y equals whatever the b is. So that's the reason for it. Okay, so we go on to next question. What is the equation that has a slope of 2/3 and y-intercept of -3? So now we're just going to figure out which one of these follows the y equals mx plus b. So let's see, that looks kind of bad there. So this m has to be the 2/3 and the b has to be -3. So that's that first option there. Okay, question 3. Again, the same thing. If the slope is -4, then we just have y equals -4 times x, and then plus -4 or just -4. So looks like that's this option. Okay, what's the slope of this line? So to find the slope, we're going to have to do rise over run. So the picture, wonder if I can make that bigger. Yeah. So the picture, we're following from one point to another point. And so we always do the y over the x to get the slope. So we go up 2 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4 to get the x distance. And then we want to simplify. 2 over 4 is the same thing as 1/2. So our slope is 1/2, and it's positive. Notice, because from left to right, this line is slanted uphill. Okay, so next question, we want to identify the slope-intercept equation. So you can assume it's going through 4 there. So we can start out our equation, y equals mx plus 4. And then to find the slope, we just find another point that's on the line, maybe right here, and go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 4 over 2, and then simplify, that's going to be equal to 2. So our slope, we're going to replace the m with the 2. It's positive again because from left to right, this is going uphill. So that's y equals 2x plus 4. Okay, next one. Identify the slope and y-intercept. Okay, this time we have a negative line because from left to right, we're going downhill. So you can see the y-intercept is at 2. So they all the answer choices have 2 except this one. And then the slope is just down 1, 2, 3, 4. So down 4, right 1 would be -4 over 1 or just -4. So that's going to be this option, -4x plus 2. Okay, and then question 7, which line has a slope of 0? That's going to be a line that's perfectly horizontal, and so that would be this line here. This would have a negative slope, this would have a positive slope, and this one would have undefined slope. And some people think of that as being an infinite slope, but that's more of a kind of a concept, more of a philosophical idea. Because infinity is not really a number. So I'm going to go with this word undefined, meaning there's no definition for the slope. Okay. Number 8, what's the slope of a line passing through the 2 points? So we've got a little formula here. We just do the change in y, so the y1 minus y2, x1 minus x2, and just make sure the y's are on top. So I'll call this x1, y1. It doesn't matter which one you call which. So that means if I follow my formula, I have to do 6 minus 18, and then 0 minus 6. Oops, that looks kind of bad. And we end up with negative 12 over negative 6. And negative divided by negative is a positive, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. So our slope is going to be 2. And just to show you, it doesn't matter which way you go. I could have done 18 minus 6, and then I would have had to do 6 minus 0. This is a little bit easier this way, because I get the positive right away. And it doesn't matter, this is still equal to 2. So, next one. What is the equation for a line with a slope of 7, passes through 0, 1? So we just have to note that this point is the y-intercept. Whenever you see an x-coordinate of 0, that means the y-intercept is the y-coordinate. So, and then the slope is 7, so we're looking for y equals 7x plus 1. Okay, next one. A little bit similar. We've got the y-intercept sitting right here at 10. So all of these have the same option. It's not going to be this. Well, I guess it still could be that, because we have to figure out the slope by using the formula. So y1 minus y2, so 5 minus 10. That looks horrible. 5 minus 10. And then x is on the bottom. Negative 3 minus 0. That's not going to do anything. Just going to get negative 3 on the bottom. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, and you can't simplify that any further. So it's this option right here, 5/3 x and plus 10, because again, that's the y-intercept right there. Okay, this one, I worked through some of the steps here, but this one has the most steps because we have to find the slope first. So y1 minus y2. What am I doing here? 6 minus 15. And then x1 minus x2. Make sure if you do x1 minus x2, make sure you do y1 minus y2, because maybe some of you learned it. You can actually do y2 minus y1, but then just make sure you're doing x2 minus x1. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter. So this is going to be negative 9 over 4. Oops, not 4. 5 minus 2 is not 4. It's 3. So this comes out to be negative 3 for our slope. Okay, and so we can get rid of this one and this one. And now to find the y-intercept, since neither one of these are the y-intercept, we have to choose one of these points. I'm going to choose this one and plug it in for x and y and solve this equation for b. So 15 goes in for y, 2 goes in for x, so that means we're going to have to multiply. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And then we're going to add 6 to both sides and get 15 plus 6 is 21. So that gives us this option right here. Okay, and then the last question, which one has undefined slope? I've sort of already mentioned this in the other problem. It's going to be a vertical line, so line D. Okay, hope that helps.